Picture this. It's a Saturday afternoon at the busiest mall in town. The food court smells of fresh pizza, burgers sizzling on the grill, and cinnamon rolls. Teenagers fill the place, laughing, eating, scrolling through their phones. For most kids, this is just another weekend. But for one 16-year-old boy named Jordan Williams, this day turned into something else entirely. A day that would leave him humiliated, angry, and questioning why he was treated so differently from the friends sitting right beside him. This is the story of how Jordan was kicked out of a mall food court for loitering, while his white friends stayed seated, and how one moment of unfairness turned into a viral storm that forced an entire mall to face some uncomfortable truths. Jordan Williams was your average high school junior, honor roll student, point guard for the varsity basketball team, known by his teachers as respectful, known by his classmates as funny and loyal. That Saturday, Jordan had finished basketball practice and decided to meet up with his three best friends at Westfield Mall, the biggest hangout spot in their town. The plan was simple: grab some pizza, sit in the food court, and chill before heading to the arcade. Jordan showed up in his athletic hoodie, sneakers, and backpack. He was sweaty from practice, but he didn't care. His friends were already there, waiting with trays of food. They grabbed a table together, laughing about who had the worst three-point shot at practice earlier that day. It was nothing out of the ordinary, just teenagers being teenagers. About 20 minutes later, while they were still eating, a mall security guard started walking toward their table. Jordan noticed it first. The guard, a tall man in a Navy uniform with a stern expression, walked past several other tables full of kids doing the same thing, eating, chatting, playing on their phones. But when he reached Jordan's table, he didn't look at the group. He looked directly at Jordan. "You can't sit here if you're not eating," the guard said firmly. "This is loitering. You need to leave." Jordan blinked, confused. He looked down at his tray. A slice of pizza halfway gone, a soda cup sweating condensation onto the table. I'm eating," he replied, holding up his pizza. But the guard didn't acknowledge it. His tone grew sharper. "Pack it up. Let's go." Jordan's friends looked at each other, stunned. One of them, Ryan, spoke up. "Wait, we're all just sitting here. We all have food. Why are you only telling him to leave?" The guard ignored Ryan completely. His eyes never left Jordan. By now, the people sitting nearby had started watching. The laughter around the food court quieted. Strangers were staring. Jordan felt his face heating up. He was embarrassed, frustrated, and unsure what to do. He tried again, this time louder. "I literally just bought this food. I'm eating like everyone else." The guard crossed his arms. "You need to move, or I'll call the police." At 16 years old, Jordan was being treated like a criminal, over nothing. His friends immediately stood up in his defense. "If he has to leave, we all leave," said his friend Megan. The guard's response? A smirk. "Do what you want, but he's not staying." Feeling like he had no choice, Jordan grabbed his backpack and tray and stood up. His friends followed, right behind him. As they walked out of the food court, whispers followed them. Some people shook their heads. Others just watched silently. Jordan didn't even taste the rest of his pizza. His appetite was gone. For the rest of the afternoon, instead of playing arcade games or laughing about video clips, Jordan sat in silence. His friends tried to lighten the mood, but they could see how much the incident hurt him. That night, when Jordan got home, his mom noticed something was wrong. She asked him what happened, and he broke down. "He treated me like I was some criminal, like I didn't belong there." "And everyone saw it," Jordan said through tears. His mom was furious. She pulled up the mall's website and found the customer service email. But then she decided to take it a step further. She wrote a detailed post about what happened and shared it on Facebook. The post read, "My 16-year-old son was humiliated at Westfield Mall today. A security guard kicked him out of the food court for loitering, while his white friends, eating the same food, were left alone. He had food in front of him. He had money in his pocket. The only thing that made him different was the color of his skin. This is not acceptable. She hit post, not realizing what would come next. By the next morning, her post had over 20,000 shares. Parents, teens, and even community leaders were commenting, outraged. This happened to my nephew last year in a different mall. My son was followed in a store for no reason. We're tired of this. This is exactly why kids of color feel unsafe in public spaces. News outlets picked up the story. Local TV stations interviewed Jordan's mother. Reporters called it another example of racial profiling in everyday life. At first, the mall tried to brush it off. A spokesperson released a statement saying, "Our security staff enforces loitering policies fairly and equally." There was no discrimination involved, but Jordan's 3 friends quickly came forward. They gave their own statement to the media. "We were all sitting at the same table doing the same thing. The guard only singled out Jordan. If that's not discrimination, we don't know what is." Suddenly, the mall's story started falling apart. A week later, things escalated further. Someone leaked the security camera footage from the food court. The grainy video showed Jordan sitting at the table with his pizza and soda in front of him. His friends were eating too. Then the guard walked directly to Jordan, leaned over, and pointed at him to get up, completely ignoring the others. The footage went viral. News stations replayed it over and over. Social media exploded. It was undeniable. Jordan wasn't loitering. He was eating, just like everyone else. With the video out, the mall faced a storm of criticism. Protesters began gathering outside, holding signs that read, "Shopping while black is not a crime. Teens deserve fairness. No justice, no business." Celebrities even began tweeting about Jordan's story. Some said they would boycott the mall until action was taken. Finally, the mall caved under the pressure. The general manager released a public apology. "We deeply regret the incident involving Jordan Williams. We recognize that bias played a role, and we are committed to addressing it. The guard involved has been placed on leave pending an investigation. We will be implementing mandatory diversity and bias training for all staff." But for Jordan, the apology felt hollow. The embarrassment and pain couldn't be erased by a few carefully chosen words. A few weeks later, Jordan decided to speak for himself at a community town hall meeting. He stood in front of a crowd of parents, teens, and reporters and said, "I just wanted to eat with my friends. I wanted to feel normal. Instead, I was told I didn't belong, that I was a problem. That day I felt small, but I realized something. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't about what I did. It was about who I am, and that has to change." His words brought the audience to their feet in applause. Jordan's story is not unique. Across the country, countless black teens have faced similar treatment in malls, stores, and schools, being watched, singled out, or accused of things they didn't do. All Jordan wanted was to share pizza and laughter with his friends. Instead, he walked away with a painful lesson about prejudice. But because his story was shared, because his mother spoke up, because his friends stood beside him, the truth came out. And that truth sparked conversations far beyond one mall food court. Stories like Jordan's remind us why it's important to speak up against everyday racism. If you believe teens deserve fairness, dignity, and respect no matter their skin color, share this video. Let Jordan's story be a reason for change.